lost in the woods on the path to your purpose? You are not alone. In this episode, we will talk about how to find your way back to yourself and your soul's purpose. So grab a cup of tea, settle in for a soulful journey in episode 21 of Give a Fuck, presented by Spark Consciousness. As always, I am your host, Sarah Woodard. I have a strong vision to help humans connect deeply with nature so they can uncover their unique gifts, talents, and values and live a life that's full of meaning and purpose. Among other things, I am a certified shamanic practitioner, Reiki master teacher, activist, educator, speaker, and award-winning children's author. I am also a fierce defender of the underdog, which for me means wildlife, companion and work/farmed animals, Mother Nature, and Gaia herself. I care deeply about my fellow human animals and believe that when we learn to live in harmony with nature, we also learn to live in harmony with ourselves and each other. I am fearless about doing my own inner work and growth and am passionate about helping create a world where all beings are respected and honored. I have a deep connection to Gaia and feel particularly connected in the presence of the beautiful Colorado Front Range and also in the presence of trees. When I'm not busy working to present information about living in harmony with Mother Nature and how that helps you find your purpose, I share my time with 3 wonderful cats, enjoy bird watching, and experiencing all the outdoors has to offer. My life journey to this point has been filled with twists, turns, and changes, as has everyone's. For me, the constants from birth to now are a strong connection to Gaia, a deep-seated need to serve and help create a more compassionate and healthy world, and a love of both learning and sharing my knowledge. Those lifelong constants are what brought me to this point and are key to my purpose, which is helping soul-searching, sensitive women nurture their sense of interconnectedness, feel confident in their purpose, and become compassionate contributors to positive change in their worlds. Unlike other spiritual life coaches who often rely on uncomfortable religious terminology or metaphysical techniques, I use connection with nature to guide you through a process of spiritual awakening and inner discovery so that you can nourish and spread your light to your community and beyond. The purpose of this show is to help raise your awareness, connect with nature, and discover your purpose. The goal is to present valuable information about how you can define your values, uncover your purpose, and make a difference, and how nature helps you do all of this. Sometimes I also share other resources, as I love to help you continue learning. A huge thank you to my existing patrons on Patreon. I have a very cool life update to share with you all this episode. I think I had mentioned the last time how I was feeling like there was another big geographic move coming up. And I think I had said the last time I was considering the Pacific Northwest. And I did explore that, but ultimately it just felt too far from my roots. But I also know that as beautiful as Colorado is, as amazing as the mountains are, I've really been missing big old growth trees and the wildlife that goes along with those habitats. And so I did some more soul searching, kind of had like a mini dark night of the soul, really. I was in a pretty dark place for a little while, and I was reading a book that was really more about how to align your business with nature, which I was very pleasantly, not surprised maybe, but sort of surprised to discover that I have kind of intuitively done that with my business anyways. Yay! But there was a place in the book where she was saying how you needed to speak out loud what it is that your heart and soul really want, and to not filter it through your brain and your ego. And I feel like I'm usually pretty good at doing that. But I was like, you know what? This is kind of speaking to me right now. So I'm just going to give it a shot with this whole living situation. And it was pretty crazy what came out. And the reason speaking it out, before I tell you what it was, the reason speaking it out loud matters is because just like music and sound can be very healing, even at a very basic level, even if you don't understand the concepts of sound healing as sound healers promote it, songs on the radio can make you feel happy or sad or get up and dance or whatever. Your voice is sound, and it's your personal sound that comes from in your own soul, in your own body. And so using your voice to speak out what is potentially hiding in your soul is a very powerful, powerful thing to do. And so I just got into that place and I allowed what I really wanted to just bubble out. And it turns out what I really, really want isn't what I thought. I thought out loud I had been saying, I really just want like a little place for me and the cats with some trees where we can be left alone. Wow. No, that's what brain wanted. That's what ego wanted. What soul wants is still the trees, still a place where the cats and I can be comfortable, but also so much more. I want a place where all of you who are doing this hard soul work of trying to reconnect with your natures through nature can actually come and do that. True healing, true healers, it works by holding space. True healers, we don't actually do anything uber magical other than create a space for you and your soul and your body to do the work. We don't give you the information. We allow it to come through. We make a space for it to come through. So I want this to be very literally a space where the property itself is a wildlife sanctuary / habitat, a pollinator habitat, a monarch way station, where there is retreat spaces that are like single occupancy with bathrooms. It has all the modern amenities everyone is comfortable and needs and we don't know how to live without anymore, but also provides you a space to come and go, okay, yeah, this is what nature is like. And to have those insights, walk around barefoot, reconnect with earth, lay on the ground, talk to the sky, all of those things. And I want also my home to be there. And I want to be able to adopt some dumped ducks who have been rescued by amazing organizations like They All Want to Live, who are based out of New York City. Location wise, what I really want is to be in like the Syracuse, New York area. Not in the city proper, but somewhere, generally speaking in that area. That works because of just the area itself has great trees and great energy and all of that. But also from a very practical standpoint, I think I've told you guys before about my cat Sunny with her seizures and how we treat that with herbs. And there's a very specific type of vet that has very specific training that can do that work and prescribe those herbs. And so I need to make sure wherever we wind up, there is one of those in reasonable driving distance. And while there are very, very a lot of them who have been trained to do the acupuncture piece, the needling piece, Sunny needs the herb piece, and those are harder to find. So I found that there are some in sort of that Syracuse area. So that's where we're targeting. We'll see what happens. But it was very clear after that. I don't actually want a little house. It doesn't have to be like hundreds of acres, but I want some amount of acreage with a house and like a barn that can be converted. And I also, in addition to these retreat spaces, I want to have like a workshop, like education space, like a big room with tables and yoga mats and projector and whatever. And also a little shop where people can buy stuff that will help them to continue this process after leaving the property. So for example, like I make these meditation shawls, I knit them. So something like that in the store. And then what I'm going to call an honor library, which will basically be a lot of my personal books, but that you as a guest could flip through while you're there. I'm in the beginning stages of figuring this out. Right now, I'm still looking for a realtor and a business attorney. So if you have leads on those in that area, please let me know. If you are interested in supporting this effort, please send me a message because at this point, I'm kind of just trying to walk one step at a time. I've never done anything of this nature before. But what I have learned being here, and part of the reasons the mountains have been so powerful for me out here, is they have taught me to be as expansive as they are. So I'm not thinking small anymore. I'm thinking big. This project, which I'm calling Alignment In, at least as a working title, it's going to happen. But I'm also super open to support, advice, anything at this point, because I have no idea what I'm doing. But we will figure it out. Okay, moving on. That life update went on a bit longer than I had planned for it to. So I think I'm going to actually skip the answers to your questions this week and dive right into the seitan of the show, which, as I mentioned, is going to help you figure out how to find your way back to yourself, back to your soul's purpose, and help you not feel so lost in the woods on this whole thing. Home to nature, we come home to ourselves. This perfectly sums up the essence of the Soulful Seeker. This course will help you to reconnect with nature and yourself so that you can live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. We're going to talk exactly about how you can go from feeling disconnected, lost, bored with life, and uncertain about your future to feeling confident, harmonious, connected with the world, and aligned with your true self, and how I can help you do that. In this particular instance, my course, The Soulful Seeker, is designed to help you do just exactly that. When you sign up for this class and actually do the work involved, of course, you will understand your place in the universe and how you're connected to all life. You'll unlock your purpose and your strengths and passions and how to leave a mark on the world. You'll become more confident and assured in your abilities to create change. You'll nurture your heart and connect with the divine spark in all beings. You will create a life that you love and that is aligned with your values. You will live a more balanced and harmonious life, and you will connect with nature and experience how this activates your intuition. It's based on grounded knowledge-building approach rather than weird metaphysical woo-woo techniques or religious terminology that can be super off-putting. What this means is that you're going to learn about spirituality and personal development in a way that is practical, relevant, and really easy to understand. It's not supposed to be some esoteric hard thing that only the chosen can do. Everyone can do this. In addition to the learning and growth opportunities, depending on what investment level you choose, you're going to have the option to connect with other like-minded women who are also on a soul-searching journey. This can be a valuable source of support and inspiration. The way this is laid out, the first part of this course, it focuses on expanding your knowledge to help you see connections and understand how the universe in ways you've probably never quite grasped before. And as you make these connections and as you start to see all of this revealed in new ways, your heart will start to open and your mind and passions and ideals follow your heart. And then the final couple sections of the course, we explore how you can take your newfound knowledge, ideals, and passions and use them to create positive change. These changes can be as far-reaching as global politics or as personal as and intimate as your own life or anything in between or any combination thereof. It all matters. All of it. As you'll learn in this course, no one can do everything, but we can all do something and it all adds up. And so here's a little story to illustrate what I mean. Molly felt lost and disconnected. She had always been a sensitive person, and she often felt overwhelmed by the world around her. She didn't know her true purpose, and she felt like she was just going through the motions of life. One day, Molly heard about a course called The Soulful Seeker that was designed to help women just like her. She was intrigued, so she decided to sign up. The self-paced course was a series of videos by a nature-based spiritual life coach named Sarah. And that's me! Even through the pre-recorded videos, Sarah was warm and welcoming. Molly immediately felt at ease. As she went through the course, Molly learned a lot about herself. She learned how to connect with her inner wisdom, develop her intuition, and live a more balanced and harmonious life. She also learned how to connect with nature and experienced how this helped reactivate her own inner wisdom. Excellent. Molly discovered that the values she'd been raised with did not align with who she wanted to be. And as the course went on, she redefined those values so that they expressed her true self. When she finished the course, Molly felt more confident and self-assured in her abilities. She also found deep wells of compassion that existed in her. She learned how to be more compassionate with herself and noticed that she's also become much more compassionate to all life around her. Molly completed the course with a new sense of purpose and determination to make a difference. Even better, she now knows which ideals are most important to her, and she's excited to use what she's learned to start making a difference. Yay! She also knows that seemingly small changes she makes at home have a ripple effect that she may not see. Molly's now okay with that because she knows that each ripple connects to other ripples, and those ripples turn into waves of change. Molly knows that if she hadn't taken a risk and signed up for the Soulful Seeker, she'd still be feeling lost and disconnected. Wah, wah. Now, she understands that when we come home to nature, we come home to ourselves. Our innate understanding of ourselves, the universe, and all life is automatically activated. She's experienced this activation herself. Now, if I was in your shoes, I'd be wondering, how can one course, one person explain all of that? And it's a totally fair question. Skepticism is a good thing. It means you're questioning. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret about the magic that happens inside the Soulful Seeker. I created this course using the wealth of my knowledge and experience. More importantly, I also created it with the support and wisdom of the universe, because I figured out how to understand and unravel those mysteries and connections and tap into them to create change myself. And when I did that, that's when I knew this course was needed. And at the same time, universal wisdom guided me in creating the Soulful Seeker, as well as everything else I offer. So when you take this course, that same universal wisdom is speaking to you through me. It's my face on the screen, and the words are coming out of my mouth, but the wisdom, the knowledge, it's not mine alone. Now, this is not some attempt at trying to say I channeled this course without sounding super woo-woo about it. Quite the opposite, in fact. Channeling, really, it's not a thing. Just as Molly learned, when we come home to nature, that innate understanding and intuition that we're all born with, but are quickly taught to forget, is automatically reactivated. And so because I found my way home to nature, I experienced that activation. It took me most of my 40 plus years to figure this out. Thankfully, though, you'll have the Soulful Seeker to shorten the learning curve for you. Yay! So if you're ready to find your way home to nature, feel confident about your purpose, and feel connected to both yourself and the world around you, you are ready for the Soulful Seeker. In this transformative course, you will discover your purpose and align your actions with your values, connect with nature and understand how all life is connected, and become a catalyst for positive change in your life and the world around you. Please join me and learn from this wealth of knowledge and experience. You can begin by clicking on the link in the show notes. Hopefully you're enjoying these fun little prompt words I'm giving you. So for this show, the word is owl, O-W-L, because they are wise birds, and I want to help you become more wise and share my wisdom with you. So if you're not able to click on the link right now because you couldn't actually kick back and enjoy a cup of tea while listening, but instead you're out running errands or dealing with a crazy child or whatever it is, just remember owl. And later on, when owl pops into your awareness, you'll remember, oh yeah, I gotta go back to that podcast, back to Give a Fuck presented by Spark Consciousness, and sign up for Sarah's class, The Soulful Seeker. And the link is right down there in those show notes. If you would like to connect with me beyond this podcast, you can find me on social media and on my website. And of course, those links are always in the show notes as well. If you would like to support the show, please consider signing up for my Patreon subscription. There are some really great bennies there for you to check out. Or consider sponsoring an episode. Again, all of that's in the show notes. If your podcast platform allows, I would really appreciate it if you took a moment to rate the show. It is free to do and is the best way to support any creators you love. In 2 weeks, we're going to talk about the power of knowledge and how to use your learning to make a difference. I will see you in 2 weeks with another big update, I hope, as well as that great topic about how to make change using knowledge. Until then, continue to expand your knowledge, feel the connections, and live with compassion.